everyone, and welcome to Let's Just Do This. I'm Margaret Wallis-Duffy, and as always, I've got my co-host next to me, Mr. Todd Miller.
We're a little closer than usual, but I'm quite enjoying it. So.
Absolutely. You know, we are super excited because this is a very special edition of Let's Just Do This, because as you can tell, we have taken the show on the road. We are not in studio, but we are at a very special on-location facility with Dr. Teske and Associates here in Georgetown. We are super excited to be able to take the show on the road because it matters to us here on Let's Just Do This and Your TV that we bring top quality integrative health education in our community to all of you. And what better place to do that than one of our regular guests on Let's Just Do This, Dr. Teske and Associates. We are here and want to welcome both Dr. Teske and Dr. George Grant, who we will introduce formally in a minute. So welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, why are we here, Todd? I mean, this has been a lot of fun. I first of all want to give a huge shout out to you, Dr. Teske, for not only being dedicated to your patients in terms of the care that you give, but also being dedicated to the education that you give in integrative health, and hence an event like this, a passport to wellness. Tell us what the inspiration was behind this passport to wellness and why you're so dedicated to continuing to educate on integrative health and in making sure your patients have the best choice of options.
Well, thank you, Margaret. It is a privilege to have everyone here tonight. What an honor to be able to host you. And I have to tell you, my main motivator and my goal to have this kind of and host this kind of event is really the success stories that we are seeing. You know, I certainly, working in silos doesn't work anymore. You know, our sick care system, when patients are really ill, works very effectively. But that in-between group, between being healthy and being sick, really needs help. And the success that we achieve when we work together, when a massage therapist works in an optometrist's office, when we have an integrative health specialist join us, when we have a nurse, when we have a fitness and health and wellness coach join us, as many ambassadors as we can have, traditional medicine, we've got doctors here. Imagine the wellness we can create.
You know what, you're so right. And I know that, and many of our listeners and viewers know, that we are on a big mission, the Better Together mission. And you know what, we're getting the attention of all levels of government because we are on a journey to change the legacy of our healthcare system for our children and grandchildren. Now, I recognize this is a huge feat to do, and it's going to take a little bit at a time to make changes. But over 16 conventional and complementary healthcare professionals have come together. They are linking arms, they're breaking down silos, and we are actually going to, and I brought it because I'm so excited, we're actually co-writing a guidebook for not just patients, but for practitioners alike, for family doctors like the ones that are in this room, to show that there are options for patients to live well and to prevent illness. Or what if we're working together and empowering a patient so they play a more active role in your health? And Dr. Teske, you're taking a leadership role in that, and I just want to thank you for that.
My pleasure.
So Dr. Grant, now, you know, on the show before, and if any of you have not seen the podcast with Dr. Grant, I mean, it's been spun many a times. You can certainly check us out on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
And they've replaying it on your TV over and over and over again. Your resume is impressive.
No,
Now,
because of you. That's why you want to see it again.
Thank you. Well, thank you. As a toxicologist, as you know, you teach pharmacy. You've written many research papers.
Yes.
You're an integrative healthcare specialist.
Yes.
You still link arms with conventional medicine, but you truly believe in looking at prevention and working together. Why?
Because prevention is much better than intervention. Prevention produces results.
Right.
Intervention produces side effects. So in everything we do, we have to evaluate risk versus benefits.
Right.
So when you have somebody with high blood pressure and give medication for blood pressure, whether it's Divan, Altis, Norvasc, hydrochlorothiazide, or beta blockers, you may control their blood pressure, you may control the symptoms, but you're not addressing the root cause of the disease.
Right.
In our situations, we help people to look at their reason, the cause for the blood pressure. And I work with so many medical doctors, cardiologists, specialists. In fact, they invited me to go to Sunnybrook to help somebody with 99% clogged arteries who had taken bypass and we'd taken a stent, and he still have angina with 25 meds. So they could not do anything with them. They sent him to palliative care, and they sent him to hospice. considering him basically to be dead in 3 months. And I'm happy to tell you, since 1983, when I helped with him, worked with him, he's still alive today.
You know what? You know what I
It's
would
just
love
he's
about that
healthy.
story.
Yes.
Not only has it made a huge difference in that life of that patient,
Yes.
but what I love about that,
Yes.
because when people think of integrative health, they think of an us versus them approach.
No, it's
That
not.
is not what we're
It is
about.
integrative. It's
Exactly.
synergy. It's synergistic. I work. In fact, I met one of your clients today. She went to my co-author, Dr. Alvin Petal, who's the top OBGYN in the country. He actually written 3 books together.
Yes.
And he's been helping her integratively. He is the top OBGYN in the country. And by the way, I'm writing now my 11th book with the top cancer doctors in the world, Dr. Akbar Khan, who does not use chemotherapy. He does not use radiotherapy. He uses something called DCA therapy. And by the way, oncologists don't like him at all.
Right.
But he has more results than chemotherapy and radiotherapy combined.
Right.
The other co-author is Dr. Sheila McKenzie. She's the head of WONM, World Organization of Natural Medicine, where I've been a member of this organization for almost like 27 years now. And we're going to be launching our 11th book with 25 co-authors on October 27. So I invite you and all the good doctors here to come to the book launch.
Absolutely.
To the World Organization of Natural Medicine. You meet medical doctors, you meet integrative doctors like myself, you meet specialists, and you meet also practitioners who we work together like a team. It's a team approach
Right.
to help people.
Well,
So-
and that's what I love. I mean, I just
Yes.
shadowed you for an entire day,
Yes.
owning an integrative clinic for 26 years myself. You know,
Yes.
it wasn't cool to do integrative health 26 years
Yes.
ago. I think even some of my own family thought,
Yes.
you know, I'm a science girl, and was I going to be hugging a tree and howling at the moon?
Yes.
It was, you know, kind of out there. What I love about this approach that we're taking, and I want to give a shout out to our colleagues in conventional
Yes.
medicine who are strained and
Yes.
don't necessarily know what their options are.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to help patients just as much as we do.
Yeah.
And that's why this mission is called Better Together.
Yes.
So that's why I'm so excited today to start this discussion about what is integrative health, to set the stage straight and to make sure that not only, you know, patients, but other healthcare professionals understand that we don't want an us versus them approach, that we want to link arms, as well as looking at government, insurance companies. How are we going to change this issue
Yes.
with increasing disease in our country? But yet, we've got all kinds of research, we've got all kinds of knowledge, but
Yes.
people are getting sicker. Well, how can we help prevent
In
disease?
my opinion, it's really simple. You have to motivate the public at large
Yes.
to seek health and total wellness. We should actually give every single Canadian $5,000 health grant. They're only allowed to go to the hospital once in a year,
Yep.
if they need to, or once to see their physician, if they need to.
Right.
But if they go to the hospital because they have aches and pain somewhere every week or every month, this is a drain on our GNP. It's a sick care now. It's not health care.
Right.
So if we can do this, then we can reduce our healthcare cost by 1/3.
Exactly.
Or even more.
Well, I'm excited to be speaking with our Premier and hopefully the
Yes.
Minister of Health soon to spark these conversations and look at real,
Yes.
you know, issues and what we
Yes.
can do. So what I'd like to do is also like to start as a toxicologist. I'd
Yes.
like to talk a little bit about something that many people don't know a lot about, or maybe there's a lot of misconceptions.
Yes.
And that is homeopathy.
Yes.
Now, as an integrated medical practitioner, I'm sure that you can speak to sort of the science behind what is homeopathy. Can you speak to that for us?
Homeopathic medicine simply likes cures like. So basically, the substance that we use to help the patient with is diluted several times, like 5x, 10x, 100x, and the more you dilute it, the more it becomes more effective because of the energy. We're looking at frequency now. This is frequency medicine. It's quantum medicine.
Quantum physics.
And if you don't know
exactly.
anything about quantum physics, you should go and study EMC square. And I'm not going to bother you with all of the science about quantum medicine, but homeopathic medicine works so much so that in the royal family, they have a homeopathic doctor to treat the queen. And the queen actually prefer homeopathic medicine than any other
That's right.
medicines, including pharmaceuticals. She does not use and she's in her, I think, in mid-90s now.
I think she
And
is,
she
indeed.
looks pretty healthy for that.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I believe homeopathic medicine have a place with acupuncture, with biofeedback, with nutrition, with massage therapy, with how to keep healthy eyes and how to keep healthy body, healthy mind. So we look at the body as a whole holistic system. It's a whole system. It's not a compartment. Unfortunately, we reduce this to somebody specializing in the heart disease, cardiologist, kidney disease, nephrologist. And you've seen my patient who has been scheduled for kidney dialysis.
Right.
And they told him next week you have to be doing you're going to be on dialysis.
Yep.
And then all of his blood tests came back. Uric acid was fine, the bun was fine, creatine was fine. And then his specialist said, you don't need dialysis. And I assured him that he does not need dialysis. So we're not against anybody who says that you need dialysis, but
Of
let's
course.
examine the facts. We look
Yes.
at facts here. We look at his blood test. We look at his biofeedback test. We look at what we've done for him
Right.
in terms of maintaining his electrolytes and so on. So there is no need to reduce the body into certain compartments. Is to treat the whole person.
Right.
And then focus on prevention instead of intervention.
Yes,
That's
absolutely. And when we look at the whole body, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all of those things
Yes.
matter. And it's very difficult
Yes.
for one person to be able to do that. Hence why I think it's awesome that we're sitting across here, a massage therapist, an optometrist,
Yes.
and a
Yes.
toxicologist.
Yes.
And in this room, there's a medical doctor, there's a registered nurse, there's a fascial stretch therapist. It really matters that we're all working
Yes.
together.
And getting back to homeopathy, in fact, there is no side effect for homeopathic medicine. In fact, I taught pharmacology and I taught toxicology. It's actually the same science. The only difference between pharmacology and toxicology is four-letter word. DOSE. It's a dose. So if you
Right.
take one dose of ASA, aspirin, it may help to relieve headache. If you take 81 milligrams, it may help to prevent heart disease, as my good friend Dr. John Foltz indicated in his publication on aspirin for 28 years.
Yes?
But then he found natural bioflavonoids to actually help people better than aspirin. And he published this in the American College of Cardiology, and that's integrative medicine.
Right. So stay tuned. We'll be right back here on Let's Just Do This.
Wonderful.
Welcome back to Let's Just Do This. I'm Todd Miller along with Margaret Wallis-Duffy. That was an incredible event. I had so much fun.
You know what? Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I love being in studio, and we've got incredible guests that come and have, really insightful and soulful conversations. But there's a different vibe when you're out in the community. And man, it was packed, that event.
It was packed, and I was worried someone was going to trip over a camera, but I mean, it was just so much fun to actually see people and learn and share ideas, with people right there.
You know what? And what I loved also about it was that our community came out. We know that Let's Just Do This is resonating with all of you. And what I loved about it, politicians showed up, regular people, which is most
Doctors
important.
showed up.
Physicians were showing up. We had a real support for the work that we're doing, which fires me up and really gets me stoked to continue to do the work we're doing.
You're on the right path when you're attracting a crowd.
Absolutely. And of course, we attract a crowd because we keep having amazing guests back, like the one that's sitting across from us right now. Dr. Hilary Webster, a naturopathic doctor who is a member of the Wallis for Wellness team, but is, becoming quite the superstar in her own right. I am absolutely loving listening to her Facebook Lives and listening to all the empowerment and education and tidbits of real evidence-informed education that you're sharing. So we're thrilled to have you back yet again on Let's Just Do This.
I'm happy to be back.
So today's discussion, and I know, we could pick that wonderful brain of yours for hours. Today we want to talk about something that both of us, have an interest in, and that is homeopathy. Now, as a naturopathic doctor, one that is, as you always like to say, you're a bit of a geek, as am I, a science geek. And, that's why we're attracting doctors and we're attracting, evidence-informed professionals to us because we believe in making sure the science is there. So when we talk about homeopathy as a naturopathic doctor, what do you think?
Sometimes it's a bit of a stumbling block with patients because they don't know what it is. And homeopathy is sometimes a bit of a four-letter word in certain medical communities because it's a contentious issue. And I'd like to kind of do away with some of those preconceptions and misconceptions and know that it can be a really gentle remedy. And I've had to learn to use it in the trenches, if you will, working with patients, and just to learn over time what a wonderful addition it has been to my toolkit and what a wonderful addition it has been to my patients' health.
You know what? I'm thrilled that you're starting that's the segment that way because we are all about providing options. And options for consideration are so critical in empowering patients to invest in their health. And also to link arms with medical doctors and to demystify, what quite frankly, isn't always true, but to give options that are actually effective. So let's talk about some of my favorite homeopathic medicines. And one of my favorites is a massage therapist. We talked about, on location with Dr. Grant and Dr. Teske as an optometrist, she uses it as well. And that is arnica. Let's start there.
So thanks for bringing up arnica. It is one of my favorite remedies and certainly my most recommended homeopathic. It is a very, very gentle form, very, very dilute form of the original herb arnica. And it's put in these delicious little pellets or onto a cream. You can use both effectively, or one or the other depending on the nature of your concern. For what we use it is for bumps, bruises, sprains, and strains. And I'd also like to add to that surgeries. So it is an incredibly quickly healing remedy that can speed up the body's natural healing process. And that's the beauty of it.
I love it. And I mean, I use this daily in the clinic with our patients and muscle aches and pains. And one of the things I love about it, and I'm sure you will agree, with our diverse population of the patients we're treating, from little kids to seniors, this is something that everyone can use and see the effectiveness of, correct?
Yes, I have used it, recommended it for athletes because they've always got bumps, bruises, sprains, and strains, but I also have used it post-operation, so post-surgery. I recommended it to my mother because she's got an amazing story about it. She had to wean off a particular, prescription painkiller from her surgery because she was imagining things. She told me recently she went to reach for a donut that wasn't there. And my mother's not even a donut eater or donut fan. So I said, wow, that was really eye-opening for me. We used really strong arnica for her, so I bump it up to a higher potency than your average, what you'd find in the health food store. And she said the throbbing went away. And I've used it time and time again. New moms right after birth or around birth for birth trauma. So one of the dark secrets about birth is tearing. Moms don't want to go through that.
Yep.
It heals those tears really nicely.
Well, and we know that we've educated and now have raving fans with the midwives that link arms with us, like Salima Moffat and Nama Midwives, for that exact reason, because it's a tool in their toolbox that they can give to patients and really see a difference.
So it's topical as well. You can put it exactly where you need it. You don't need to necessarily take it internally. You can say, oh, I bumped myself. When that log fell on my leg 2 weeks ago, I probably could have used some.
Absolutely, Todd, that's a really good point. Like I said before, you do have the topical. You can use a cream, and you can also use the pellets. And heck, there's absolutely no danger in using both.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love
Yeah.
it. And a little tip is I always tell people to put their Arnicare tube in the fridge to increase the anti-inflammatory component of it because it's colder and it feels nice when you're putting it on something that's hot and inflamed and irritated. So that's just a little tip as a massage therapist.
That's
Keep
clever.
it away from the ice cream.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's move on also to, because there's so many things that homeopathy can be used in conjunction for different conditions. So, we don't like to think about a summer cold and flu, but it happens. And certainly before, as summer's slipping through our hands, there's going to be cold and flu season. There is a wonderful homeopathic medicine that I love called oscillococcinum, or Oscillo for short. Dr. Webster, what's your experience with Oscillo, and why is it something that becomes a go-to medicine for you and your patients?
So I think that flu prevention and cold prevention is something that's often overlooked. So this could be an excellent choice in your prevention toolkit. I know when we were talking beforehand, Margaret, you said your favorite thing, and maybe I'm taking this point from you already, but your favorite thing is to prevent colds and flus while you're traveling.
Yes.
So that's an excellent point. We do know that over the summer, you're probably not sleeping as much because you're too busy out having fun because it's light for so much longer during the day. You're also probably eating a little bit differently. You might be consuming some things that aren't necessarily as healthy for your immune system as you normally would. You need insurance. And I do work with patients as well who know when their immune system's going to go, because a lot of patients of mine happen to be teachers, educators, administrators working in the school system. They know as soon as summer hits, they're going to get a cold because their immune system ramps up again because the stress is over. So we know that happens. And so having a remedy in your preventative toolkit, I think would be a really excellent choice.
Yes. So speaking of the summer or being out in nature, I was recently in Western Canada and hiking through the beautiful mountains in Banff and Jasper, and the bugs love me. And I know for many of you out there, the bugs love you as well. And, this can be of concern. And of course, itching and scratching and being irritated. There's something that I have in our family's medicine chest called Dapis gel. Can you speak to that and as an effective option for parents and seniors to help with that itchiness?
Yeah, look, we want topicals, because your skin is your largest organ of your body. We want our topicals to be clean. We know the effects of bug bite remedies, that are over the counter or at your local store, and bug spray remedies that contain a lot of chemicals. So we want to apply stuff on our skin that is clean and that's going to be, again, gentle and not going to introduce a lot of toxic elements to the body because it's absorbed through the skin.
Absolutely.
So something that is cleaner in its formulation is going to be a lot nicer to your body, notwithstanding its efficacy also, which is great. Just an aside for bug bite season, I've seen 3 bug bites this year through friends, family, and patients where they've gotten infected. Here's a...
Scratching it?
Yeah, sometimes from scratching.
Because kids won't leave it alone.
Well, no,
You tell them.
Just kids?
Okay,
nor do
sorry.
adults. Another friend of mine, actually, he got a resistant staph infection from scratching. You need to treat that. And so absolutely, if it gets to be that big of a deal, please go to your medical doctor or go to the hospital and get it treated properly, lest it progress. But to prevent that from happening, let's do something easy. Let's do something simple. Let's do something gentle.
Yes, and I know, in our household, and that is that, we've had a family member, a very close family member, have that exact thing happen and was very sick from an infection. So Dapis gel, I use by Boren Laboratories that I absolutely love, and it doesn't smell badly, and right away, now in our family now, where's the Dapis gel? It's something that's our go-to, which is really, really important.
Yeah, people want creams and topicals nowadays that are going to be, paraben-free and phthalate-free and sulfite-free and things like that. And so we want to support the people who are doing that.
It's like when you look at the chemical list, you go, I wouldn't spray that on my food. Why would I spray it on my skin?
No kidding. The biggest organ. So
Yeah.
speaking of our biggest organ and our skin and absorption of chemicals and what have you, the skin can become very irritated in the changing elements. And in Canada, whether it's winter, in the harsh elements, or summer and in the harsh elements, there is another homeopathic go-to that I know we both love. Can you speak a little bit to why calendula can be a go-to, how it's helpful, and why people should consider having that in their medicine chest?
Yeah, so calendula is a wonderful herb to just use herbally, not only homeopathically as well. And so just to clarify for a moment, the calendula, or the homeopathic form of calendula, they take the herb and they dilute it. And it has a different mechanism of action than just applying the herb itself, either topically or orally. So the calendula cream that we use, we need to do the work on the inside as well, but man, if you have eczema or itchy skin, rashes, dry skin, you need something to take that itch away fast. Maybe calendula topically could be an option for you, either homeopathically or not. But it's an important tool, and while we're doing the work on the inside too. My funniest story is about the family dog, and he's now turned into a naturopathic dog because he's really allergic. He's a Wheaten Terrier, so he's a purebred, so he's prone to allergies. This poor guy, he eats a raw food diet. He has fish oils, and
Love it.
yeah.
Do you have fish oils?
I do.
Good, because
Okay.
you've been listening to this show.
I can't help but learn.
And we've used oil of oregano for him. He likes oil of oregano better than most of us, I think.
Topically or
Orally,
really?
yeah. And we've used calendula cream on him as well for his rashes, because you can't tell a dog not to scratch. You can barely tell a person not to scratch.
that or the cone, isn't
The
it?
cone of shame, yes.
Well, and I loved what you shared with me about, it's bogey, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Ah.
about bogey, was that the vet was treating him with antibiotics.
Yep.
Which it wasn't an infection.
No. And so it took them a while to figure out, this is probably allergies, which was something I think we knew instinctively all along. We're with him all the time. And he's doing pretty well on his fish oil, and we know which foods to avoid. Like I said, he's a naturopathic dog. I tell my patients all the time to avoid certain foods in order to prevent skin flare-ups.
All right. So to just sort of summarize, as a naturopathic doctor, whether you're speaking to other healthcare professionals or to patients, everyday people, homeopathy is a great tool to consider. And one of the benefits as well is that it's not going to interfere with other medications. Is that correct?
Right. We don't have any evidence to support that it would interact with medication, so it has a very low probability. There are pharmacists and doctors who recommend homeopathics in conjunction with pharmaceutical medications. When I started working at Wallis for Wellness, I found a lot of patients were on a ton of medications. Certainly, our goal is to help people be healthier, and one of the ways that we do that is to provide solutions that can help with side effects of medications, or to help them feel well in spite of their medications, and hopefully one day they don't need as many. That would be the ideal. And in the meantime, we need to be able to provide things that don't interact. That's my job.
Absolutely. And this is one of the things I love, not just about the way you practice, but our approach and our Better Together mission is that both sides of the equation, conventional and complementary medical professionals, work together with the patient at the center to empower and educate them with solutions that are going to be effective and to give them options. We always learn from you, and we share funny stories. I mean, now there's going to be, many bogeys out there. Boomer, actually, he's always itching. Maybe I should be talking to you about Boomer.
I need to talk about my dog Bear at some point. So the 3 Bs.
Oh yeah, Bear too. Yeah. Is he itchy?
Yes, extremely.
Okay, so we got to get a veterinarian on next to you and talk about some of the naturopathic
Can we bring dogs
ways.
in?
I was going to say, can it be dogs? Because that would be wonderful.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Okay.
Wouldn't that be fun? So thank you, as always, Dr. Webster, for joining us. And we're excited because you're going to be joining us very soon to do an entire show on a naturopathic approach to mental health, something that's near and dear to both of us and something that we know society is craving education and solutions for. So thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Of course, we learn just like you do here at Let's Just Do This, but we always want to hear from you. If you've got any, questions or concerns, or perhaps you have a topic that you would like us to cover here at Let's Just Do This, reach out to us, right, Todd?
Absolutely. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, or drop us a line here at Your TV. So on behalf of Todd Miller, myself, and the entire team here at Your TV, until next time, be well.